Hello, folks, and thank you for coming this evening. This is the ARK Podcast number 5. We have a special guest, Mr. Z, who's going to be joining us and speaking a little bit. I just want to tell you, first of all, I know you guys are waiting to get some answers and DMs. They've been quite flooded. Really, guys, we have so many fantastic teams that are coming and joining our community. So we're getting back to everybody. We're doing it at a place. We did a pretty large second tranche today. We did a large one yesterday, and we've been adding to it for the past couple hours. And we are at a 24% subscription rate, which is quite fantastic. We have till really Friday, the end of Thursday evening. It'll cut off as we'll start with our public pre-sale. We're already here getting organized for a couple of AMAs, some great YouTubers that are going to be reviewing our whole system that they're reading the white paper about and coming and asking questions. So we thank every single one of you for being here and joining us. Let me see here. Okay. So before we go ahead and turn over to you, Z, I just want to see if there's anybody here that might have an urgent question, as we're going to be here probably for an hour or two, as we generally are. But there might be a pressing matter before we start, and we'd be happy to answer that for you, whether it be regarding the NFT, how to get in, and any other question like that. We can go ahead and take a question or two before we get started. Is there anybody that would like to unmute their microphone and ask something? All right. So I guess we'll open it up a little bit later. Z, go right ahead, man. It's all yours.
Hey guys, I went on a little rant there for a good 10-12 minutes, but I'll try to make it briefer now and kind of explain like whenever I looked into successful projects, you can sort of bring in the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the CryptoPunks, you can bring in Yearn Finance. The ones that sort of succeeded in DeFi, their communities were well informed. Their communities were regularly on podcasts, on discussions, talking to one another. And I think we at ARK can do something similar. We can keep a more informed audience and keep it to radio signal that you can sort of tune into at 37.5 AM radio, right? We can do that, and we can do it regularly. And we have about 40 people here and more just joining up. If you guys have any sort of DMs when it comes to ARK and the pre-sales that we're just going through, do DM Atlas and the team. But my sort of eagerness for tonight is to have a little campfire and to start a small agenda and really build a community at a regular basis. And we can be an informed community. We can be up and down the scales of like world politics. We can talk about the relative aspects into DeFi and to see the different variable connections. I mean, like right now, the world is in a bit of a turmoil. We're going through interest rate hikes everywhere around the world. Energy bills are going up, and I call them transitions. I mean, we can call them recessions, but I call them transitions and adoptions. And we believe DeFi and crypto is highly invested within that. So it's important that folks here, leaders of syndicates and leaders of anyone that's involved with ARK, and when you have your teams, it's important that the teams have a place of discussion. We can call it a town hall. We can call it a place of sharing ideas and getting queries answered. And it starts off when you have an informed audience. So when I sort of was an early investor of NFTs and sort of things like Yearn Finance, I would go into their Discords, and their Discords I felt taught me quite a bit. They taught us about different wallets, different ecosystems, different variables, and the different ambitions that these roadmaps have. So when a DeFi project has a roadmap, it's important to have a podcast or a discussion or AMA. And I think today we're going through the podcast phase where we're gonna kind of go deep in, see what prices we're at currently on a technical level, and then see the updates that we have worldwide. And that's the phase of it. And I'll sort of be here talking for a good half an hour and really starting up the enlightenment of DeFi. I mean, today was a kind of sad day for me. I mean, because you had the co-founder of MakerDAO, Nikolai, He passed away really young. He was 29 years of age, and he was the first one to really understand the different hacks that take place on Ethereum. And he was really informed. His Reddits were pretty awesome. His GitHubs were pretty good. And unfortunately, we've lost a really good, you can say, entrepreneur. And MakerDAO works towards DeFi, and to have him not here, so yeah, like let's take a moment of silence for him and his family, and yeah, that's the first thing that sort of hit me today. And then we also have a lot of, like, you can say, the SEC continues its investigations into cryptocurrencies, and something fascinating happened yesterday where the founding members of Web3 of Polkadot informed SEC in one sentence saying that Polkadot is not a security, but it's merely a software. It's a really powerful statement made to show them that security is fiat-based, it's sort of investment-based, but cryptocurrencies are a complete different animal, and they have many different sort of levels, and now we understand liquidity pools more, we understand mining, staking, proof of work, proof of stake. So there's much more going on in cryptocurrencies for the SEC to like digest. And there's some countries in the world right now, like the Emirates, the Qataris, the Saudis, they're starting to like really adapt into cryptocurrencies. And Europe is starting to take those realms as well. But we understand the financial sort of institutes are still in America. And America goes through Congress, goes through Senate, and goes through a bit of a longer proceeding when it comes to understanding, as they are right now with their hearings, and then when it comes to implementing for tax purposes, for capital gains, for all these other things. So yeah, it's important that we don't just always go into the when, and keep talking about the moons. We can celebrate good times, but it's important that we keep ourselves informed. So does anyone here in the crowd want to add to that, or something that they want to have as a functionality to our discussions on the podcast? I'll give you guys a minute. No worries. Yeah, if anyone has any sort of like ideas or any discussions that they want to, any topics that they want to kind of relate to, remember, you guys can DM us folks here and just tell us about topics that you want to be talked on the podcast, and soon enough we're going to start to like bring in more audiences into Discord, because Discord has many like as wonderful Telegram is. I mean, we use Telegram regularly, but Discord kind of brings it to the second layer of, you can say, discussion, and then we can get into different apps. Sorry, Ad, if you want to.
Yeah. I wanted to chime in on the Discord part. You know, one of the things that we want to do in Discord that we're really not going to, well, we don't have the capability really here to organize into TG, is to create, channels into Discord for the different teams. Okay, that's something that I think is going to be, pretty vital, and especially as we start to grow and we see some of these leaders that are coming in and bringing a lot of investors. We want to set up for you there, your small community within our community, so that you guys can share ideas and inform your new investors, and try to find a balance also over there, as Z and I come from Discord before Telegram, and I think that'll blend in hopefully really well. There's a whole other crowd of investors that I think we need to tap into. And then eventually we'll see how we can maybe do the podcast on Telegram as well as over on Discord. But that'll be a bit later as we get more technical. So please continue.
Yeah, of course. So yeah. So
hey Z.
Yes.
Hey, this is Brett. I had a quick comment and a question along with it. But one of the decisions that we made with the project, we switched over to BSC from Crow. We originally talked about Crow. And once we made the decision to move over to Binance, there was, a bunch of different factors going to that. The main was the liquidity that's resting on BSC, and just with the market conditions, it made a lot of sense to move to BSC. But one of the other decisions we made was USDC versus BUSD. I just want to get your maybe some insights. We had our reasons for that. Obviously, there's a lot of regulatory pressure. Circle is the USDC company in the US. BUSD is a Chinese company, essentially. through Binance. Do you have any insights into that? And I think we made the right choice, but just wanted to get your comments on that.
Yeah, of course. So BUSD was something I did follow quite into perspective, especially when Irvin, could you mute your mic? It keeps interrupting in the side, but yeah, for me, BUSD is still in development. It's still got to go through a lot of proceedings, and for me, Circle have done a really good job to like speak to Congress, to speak to the government officials, and really create a good audit. They like the way they audit their foundation is pretty safe, and USDC is actually starting to bring more traction than USDT currently. So USDC was a good decision from the team. It's something Atlas also mentioned to me, and we had some really deep sort of like introspective discussions on it. And I think what the guys are doing in USDC with regulatory and also on the sort of transparency side is pretty sweet. Compare that to BUSD or USDT. So I agree. That's my small 2 minutes on that. But we want to add to that.
Yeah, I want to add to that because recently with the Tornado Cash debacle, the mayhem that happened there, the USDC Circle froze, those funds and wallets that had, in any way been, related or passed through into those transactions. And that's, I think, for us, kind of worrisome. And one of the reasons that we decided to go with BUSD, as we're seeing, the adoption by the government, to probably be their central bank US dollar, equivalent. But that to me kind of, left a sour taste in my mouth as, if anyone sends us in transaction in the future and we have USDC and for whatever reason we're connected to them, even if we didn't know those folks or imagine somebody, you piss somebody off for whatever reason and they just, have a really dirty wallet that they know is going to get blacklisted and they go ahead and send you, something. And, now you're in a situation where they could, freeze your USDC. What do you think about that?
That's one sort of way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is sort of what USDC and Circle are doing. Currently, the way they're building their treasury is pretty unique. They're actually buying treasury bonds. They're buying actual real world assets. And I'm not saying algorithmic stablecoins were good, but you should have a treasury of all sorts of real world real estate when it comes to sort of dollar value, when it comes to euro value, when it comes to the different bonds and the sort of like hedge monies that we have available. And it seems Circle are doing a really good job to really connect with the real world compared to other, you can say, stable coins. So that's my sort of vote on USDC. So that's far, and especially with the Tornado Cash. What we found with Tornado Cash was when it came to like showing, you can say, accountability, USDT and USDC sort of differed in their sort of perspectives. And I've not heard the USDC side, but the USDT side was pretty alarming, where they didn't open up as much as they did. They just kept countering. Whilst USDC, on the other hand, actually took the effort of actually blacklisting sort of players that have not done the KYC or have not done the sort of movements that they should have done. So that's why I think USDC for me is winning, because they have much more, you can say, real world use case, and they're also exploring the many different ventures in their treasury. So those are two things that I sort of feel about, with USDC, and we're gonna have more developments on that as we go. But that's my 2 minutes on that. Any further questions?
I appreciate that, Z. I think we should, talk more about that and maybe having exposure to USDC in the treasury where it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whenever we have, you can say, a recession, we're going through one, we basically peg our way away from stocks and we start to go into more bonds, we go into more treasuries, and we look at those yields there. And what DeFi has is an opportunity, even in a bearish market, to see who they peg against. Like, who are they, like what is USDT or what's BUSD or what's Binance doing, to basically understand the peg and to see how the real world works, and what happens with the real world is like when we build treasuries, we build it into borrowings, into bonds, into treasury bills, and that's how we sort of build our portfolio, and then we back our treasury reserve against that. So USDC is, to me, the only active stable coin right now that's taken those sort of proceedings. That's what puts them ahead of USDT, puts them ahead of BUSD and all the other stable coins. And once they create a marker, just like Tesla did with its electronic cars, then everyone else follows suit. So I think USDC is trying to be that sort of, you can say, pinnacle in DeFi that's trying to connect with the real world, and is trying to even peg their treasuries in such a way that sort of shows, treasury bills, and shows bonds, and shows a mix of asset classes. So that's what puts them ahead of other stables to me. But what more do you want to know about it, Brett?
Oh, no, that was my only question. We're building our liquidity pool with BUSD, and obviously our treasury will have BUSD in it. So I think having a portfolio, as you mentioned, in our treasury and reserves of possibly USDC and BUSD might be something we should look into as we move forward and the regulatory situation gets worked through, and maybe just have exposure to one. That would be my take on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, stables are something that we've really looked, especially when, what happened with the Terra USD, like the Terra Luna thing, like exposed stable coins. They put stable coins in the headlines. CNN was talking about, CNBC was talking about it. Like we were in the real world. I had friends and family ask me questions about stable coins quite a bit, and it started there because you had the founder of, you can say, Do Kwon, buying the tops on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, on all these things, and for billions of dollars, and creating the stablecoin, the algorithmic stablecoin, as he says. So then we started to really look into how USDT based their peg currency, how they sort of burn tokens to keep the peg of $1, and sometimes we have 90 cents or 99 cents. And thus far, I think USDC for me is the place. I mean, it's been approved by Visa, which was quite big. So Visa, if you use a Visa credit card, soon enough you'll be able to have purchasing parity in USDC in a stable coin. So to see that, companies like USD, like Visa, like MasterCard, like PayPal, they're looking into USDC quite a bit, and Visa has actually gone public with bringing it into their sort of portfolio, and people will be able to use it. So yeah, that's my sort of opinion thus far. USDC is the one that's doing the real world use case, and those are the kind of projects that I align myself to, and that's what most DeFi hodlers should do as well. But we can honestly talk about stable coins for hours upon hours, and we will do that. It'll be one of our things in the podcast. But yeah, I hope that kind of answers the question on USDC. And if anyone else has any questions, we can look into it. But yeah, it's good to have everybody here. It feels like a campfire. It feels a good Saturday evening. And we've had some updates. We've seen price action with Bitcoin. We've seen price action with Ethereum. Things have looked a bit bullish as a trader, and we're starting to see the proof of stake really take its place with Ethereum, because Ethereum's going through huge updates when it comes to voters. Because up till now we've had miners that would dictate the transaction fee, as we can say, gas fee. And we're starting to move into proof of stake, and it's and we've had a big migration, which it wasn't as bumpy as we thought it would be. It's been a smooth transition, and it was delayed by a few months, but we're starting to see that there's much more activity on Etherscan, and that's a plus to DeFi. That's a plus to adoption, because when it comes to OpenSea, when it comes to all these play-to-earn games in the metaverse, and what Decentraland has to offer, and what the other sort of metaverse projects have to offer, they're going to go through Ethereum to begin with, to see that gas fee has been pretty low, and you don't have to pay $100 to play Pac-Man. It's a good thing. So that's the good thing about where we are right now. Ethereum's price is starting to kind of go up from the 1300 region into the 16 to 1700 region. So we're seeing confidence in people using Ethereum as a place of many different ecosystem stabilities when it comes to NFT trading, when it comes to playing these games, and building the metaverse. And it's so we've had, as much as we're in a bearish market, there's a lot of adoption happening. There's a bunch of, you can say, real world use cases that are starting to come in, especially on the Bitcoin Lightning side. And it's going to move into things like Ethereum, things like Binance, things like Solana. And just like whenever anything starts out, realize, guys, like we compare crypto assets with real world assets. It's nothing you can really compare, because like currencies have been out for centuries, compared to cryptocurrency that's just been the babies are starting to walk a little bit. So we're going through transitions. We're going through a lot of, like, you can say, speculation, but also a lot of adoption. That's when you have speculation the way we have in cryptocurrencies. 3 years ago, we would never talk about it. 3 to 4 years ago, Bitcoin was known as a place for Silk Road purchases, and now it's sort of talked about as a place of paying for your McDonald's in Uruguay, or using it at Kmart, or using it at Costco. So Bitcoin has been the first. It's been you can say, the gold standard, and now we're gonna sort of, through 2023, 2024, we're gonna start to hear about Ethereum, you can say, adoption at a higher level. So we look forward to that, and whilst we look forward to that, it's important for us as a community to be informed when it comes to technical, when it comes to fundamentals, and that's what we're gonna have these discussions for. Today is the first discussion. So I'm not going to keep it to any singular topic, but the way I'd like to take it forward is where we spend the first 15, 20 minutes speaking about what's happening in the crypto world, and what are the main headlines. And then we can sort of base it on, you can say, a mechanisms of DeFi. If it comes to staking, or it comes to NFTs, it's something that we can start the rabbit hole on, and really talk deeply about ERC20, and talk about Engine, and talk about you can say, the history behind NFTs, and the history behind staking, and we can do it in an informed manner. We can do it in a place where all you leaders here can bring your folks to our podcast, onto our Discords, and have much more, you can say, collaborations there, a lot of engagement, communities that keep consistent engagement, are the ones that are the most informed. They're the ones that become the Bored Ape Yacht Clubs, the crypto punks, the Yearn Finances of our crypto world. And this is something I've spoken deeply to Atlas about, and the team here, that if we are going to do things well at ARK, we're going to keep things as transparent as can be. We're going through a pre-sale for the month, and the team's here to answer all those questions. But like, my sort of stable point here is to bring the crowd together, to have an informed discussion on all the matters that are related to DeFi and real world use case. And we'll do surveys, we'll have communities, and then we'll further, as we get to like discover Discord more and more and bring our communities there. We're gonna have much more interactions with apps, with games, with ways of having a higher sort of interaction rate there. Because Discord, I mean, Telegram is a wonderful place, but Discord is a place. I apologize for the crazy here, but yeah, we're gonna have a much more informed place in Discord, and we're gonna have many multiple channels, and it's gonna be a place where, like Atlas says, where you can bring your teams along and have separate channels where you can sort of inform, do announcements, and we can do a lot of cool things through that. We can have I think soon enough, Discord is going to be having MetaMask as an API, which is going to be pretty cool, that we can connect our wallet straight to MetaMask, to Discord, sorry. And so there's a lot going on in the Discord community, and we're also going to try to use Discord as a place where we can bring in communities from the NFT world, and also from the gaming world, because what is cryptocurrency to us? Cryptocurrency was 5 individuals who were buzzing around Bitcoin, who lived a year into Bitcoin. I'm mentioning Vitalik, Gavin Woods, and the team there. they used to play a lot of puzzle games. They played a lot of Monopoly. They played a lot of board games and then digital games, and that's what cryptocurrencies are. It's a game theory, and we want to be a step ahead. So Discord will bring us that. We will have much more informed discussions in podcast form, but we're going to have like further discussions in Discord and separate active channels. And we have a lot to look forward to. It's a good weekend, and I'm glad a lot of you here could be out, having drinks or enjoying your family time. But it's great to see that all of you are here and here to like not just discuss about ARK, but talk about DeFi to really start something here. And here I've been educating for a couple of years in DeFi, and the first thing that I had an issue with was people trading on Coinbase and Binance, and no one understood MetaMask as a wallet or the other wallets that we have for Solana and for Ethereum and other things. So this could be a place where people that still have holdings in Binance and Coinbase can come here and say, okay, here's a link to MetaMask. This is how MetaMask works. And once we get through the technical side of things and we're sort of, smoothing with that, then we can kind of explain NFTs in a much more detailed manner. I don't think it's been done as much anywhere. People are just given a link and told what the floor price of a project is, what the ambitions are, and people buy an NFT, but they don't realize the technology behind NFTs. NFTs, to me, are a big real world use case. It's a way we're going to go to our concerts. It's a way we're going to buy our flight tickets. It's the way we're going to be paying rent. Very soon, how we're going to buy property. So it's great that ARK has an NFT attribute to it. So that's the NFT side of cover. The other sides are sort of liquidity pools and staking mechanisms. So as we get into discussions further, we're going to be talking about those things. We'll be talking about not just the successes of DeFi, but also the failings of DeFi, where we went against real world use case and how we're going to go further with it. So it's important to look into history, to see where we went well and what we didn't succeed in, and to discuss those things, because we've had issues in the economical sense when we went off the gold standard on the dollar in the early 90s and early, I'd say, the 20th century. We went through things where we pegged off the gold standard. We pegged off real world, you can say, metal. And due to that, we had mass printing, we've had several recessions, and that's why we gave birth to Bitcoin. And from there, we gave birth to Ethereum and all these cryptocurrencies, because they have a limited supply. And that's something that mind boggles a lot of people. When you explain to them that the dollar has unlimited, you can say, printing power compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum that have a limited supply. So Bitcoin has 21 million, and we're going through the last halving in the next few years. So it's important for us to understand those things, because if we're bringing in communities, if we're bringing in individuals into our ARK, right, into our ARK of, we need to make sure that we help them, we guide them, we give them tutorials, we help them. If anyone's lost, if the mods can't get to them, someone in the community should reply to a message and say, this is how we do it, or this is a tutorial to that. So we can communities, like you can say in the NFT side, when it came to like one I looked into was Bored Ape Yacht Clubs and how they had a informed community, and here we have a big amount of leaders that we can sort of build that sort of standard. And today's the first podcast. I mean, we started yesterday, but today's the first sort of podcast where we can sort of talk about different things and really bring the community together. And soon enough, we can look in the white paper together. We're gonna have a much more interactive podcast where we can look into the white papers of different projects. We can look into our white paper and also look into the roadmap capabilities that we have. What I like about the team here is they're taking their time with everything when it comes to the simplicity of UI, when it comes to creating an informed community. It's something different to what a lot of other communities are doing. I've been in many sort of metaverse communities, a lot of NFT communities, but the ones that stay the most informed, they're the ones that have the most sort of reach. And we want to do that here. And that's my sort of little rant for today. Atlas, is there anything you want to look into specifically, or should we continue the rant?
No. I think it's a great introduction, and just giving folks here an idea of really what we want to establish. You brought up games, you brought up NFTs. Look, all these folks that are into those communities in the metaverse, in these uncertain times, they're looking for a proposition of passive income. And those days of the 100x in 3 hours that doesn't happen anymore. People are looking for real utility. They're looking for teams that are able to really deliver on those roadmaps. There's been so many things that have been put together, and you've seen it. We've all seen it so many times over. So I think really expanding and tapping into those communities. You have a lot of Discord experience. There's quite a lot of real hardcore DeFi investors that a product like ARK is going to really attract them. There's a lot of real world use case. We're going to also be with our mobile app attracting a lot of just regular folks, average Joes, landscapers, nurses, Uber drivers. there's so many folks that are. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, my thing just echoed there, but you can carry on.
So yeah, sometimes when someone has a MacBook, when we are at the same time have the mic on, it's very rare, but it's happened only with other folks that I think have sort of the same computer that I do. So I know that's a little bit difficult sometimes, but I think we have a great proposition here at ARK. We have an amazing community, and growth is really what's essential to keep the project not just growing but really thriving. You can't take your foot off the gas. I've always said that. That's why we want to be here, and there's so much to talk about ARK. There's so many new folks that are going to come and ask questions that might not have the experience as so many of the people here. And to be quite frank, a lot of the folks that are here right now are really folks that are ROI DApp experts, and it's a fantastic space. They're very well educated. They have tons of experience. We have a lot to learn from them. We're here to listen. We're here to grow. It's been for me a fantastic day talking with a lot of these leaders and understanding how they're structuring their teams and how they're poised for growth. And to have them here is quite an honor. And we believe that's really the foundation of what we're building here. Having these folks as we expand, we're going to need all of you guys to really help us, just carry the whole education part and answering in our chat, and our admin and moderator team is growing. Brett's been really taking the brunt of the work, getting really technical in these chats, and other groups as well that are very interested in what we're doing and want to join us. And I believe as we get more involved and more leaders step up, and these folks that are so experienced, really anchor themselves to the ARK, to the whole project, they're going to step up. Their star is going to be shining, and what they bring to the table is something quite amazing. So you don't want to bring a mass flood of folks if you don't have a community that I believe is well poised to have really transparent knowledge as well as empathy. Like you said, Z, about people that are not knowing MetaMask. I'm guarantee everybody here does, because these are really, really well connected folks. But as we grow, there's going to be a lot of that. In our phase one, we had a couple of folks who were fantastic at recruiting folks that have never even bought a single crypto in their life, never used MetaMask, never opened up a crypto.com account or Binance. So we did an exceptional job of just holding their hand and getting them to a point where they could understand the investment, so they could make the best decision possible, and also how to manage the investment. Folks need to understand, when you get into an ROI DApp and staking of this sort, the way that these contracts are built, you can't just hit a panic button and take all your money out. At least our contracts are not set up that way. You are making a sacrifice, understanding that the system's set up to have a return on investment. And the way that we've put this together really is set up to encourage folks to follow at least a 1-to-1 ratio. Pay yourself one day, make your claim, and the next day go ahead and reinvest to get that compound interest gain, which is so powerful, as we all know. But we've seen a lot of the difficulties of when folks hyper compound, and what that does to the chart, and that's also where our liquidity controller comes into play. It's quite fascinating. I don't know, Brett, if you want to talk a little bit about that. Really the reasoning behind the 1-to-1 ratio, strategy. Can you touch on that for a little bit for us, Brett?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, down to it when. Can you hear me?
Hold on a second. Yeah, I can. I was actually asking Brett to talk about that because he engineered the system. Is he here with us? Brett, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Z. I was asking him. I don't know if maybe I cut out for a bit. You weren't able to hear.
Cool.
Brett, did you hear what I was asking you to talk about?
Yes. Yeah. About the more balanced approach and withdrawing earlier. And a lot of those philosophies have come out of the drip rocket science group that Kelly Snook, one of our advisors, she heads up that group. I know a lot of people know who she is. And she wrote a best practices section in our white paper that a lot of people should refer to. And it gives you the right mindset to approach the investment, talks about compounding withdrawal strategies. And then really what the philosophy is behind that is that we don't end up with a lot of large groups of people compounding to max wallet and then trying to withdraw all at once. So the way that the system works is that you'll want to compound up to a certain principal balance around 27,000 ARK. And then at that point, you'll have 290% of that number, which is going to equal 80,000. And in most daily ROI dApps at that point, you would just have to withdraw to the 80,000 tokens. But in our system, at that point, you will have already withdrawn quite a bit. So the amount of claiming or withdrawing, if you want to call it that, you would be required to do is much, much less, which creates a lot less sell pressure on your chart. And so by creating that small trickle of sell pressure along the way, it really smooths out the chart naturally. And then when we bring the liquidity controller in on top of that, we have much better leverage with that liquidity controller because we don't have to account for extremes, wild swings in the buy or sell pressure. So it really takes a lot of pressure off that liquidity controller system and helps protect the longevity or sustainability of the overall ecosystem. So that's kind of the mindset. We don't want to create a big tsunami of withdrawers, and we want to allow them to withdraw along the way to really ease that pressure. It's like a pressure release valve. That we're releasing that pressure along the way so that it doesn't become a much, much bigger problem 3, 6 months, 9 months down the road. And typically after launch, we've seen that with a lot of projects where the chart's kind of stable in the beginning as they get early adoption, then it just seems to hockey stick. And then on the other side of that hockey stick is an equal, if not greater, pitch to the downside. That's the reverse hockey stick to the downside. So a lot of green on the way up and then a lot of red on the way down. And so by us being able to use the liquidity controller early, but then also have mechanics in the contracts that smooth out that ride naturally, I think we've got a kind of a winning combination there that's unique to ARK.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Brett. Is there anybody here that maybe has a question for Brett or us regarding, why it was done that way? Maybe you didn't understand it or you want to expand on it a bit more. We'd love to hear from you, or maybe just another question. You can mute your mic and ask. Let's see here. Thanks for your comment, Carl. I know you're cooking. Thank you for adding to that. Standing on top, if you guys see his message, talk about Discord and his opinion on it. That it's quite positive. Look, the more channels that you have, the more people that you can really tap into and speak with and spend time with is really, going to be a major factor of success. That's why, these evenings that we get together and we talk about what we're doing here, we wanted to grow. We want to make sure that as our community comes over here, they completely feel at home and find that they're surrounded by a bunch of really smart, educated, and guys that are happy to be here and be investing into the project. With that, also, I see a lot of folks are DMing me throughout today and even right now. I apologize if I haven't gotten back to you. We're going in tranches, and we will, give everyone an opportunity to get on a waiting list if they're not in a team that's we're already in discussions with. We thank you for your interest and just appreciate that you're being very patient as we really get this all organized and get everybody situated correctly through the week for the private sale. There was a great question yesterday from the guys over, CFF in particular, came through with some fantastic questions. Let me see if he's actually here tonight. I believe he's not. Oh, Mr. T-Drip in the house. How are you, buddy? I don't know if you're able to speak and say hello.
Hey guys, I'm driving, but nice to be here listening in.
Fantastic, man. Great questions the other night when you came through, and we love it when guys come and want to ask some interesting questions. There's a due diligence process that smart investors are going to go through, and part of it is really coming here and asking us directly the questions. That's what we're here for, guys, to present ourselves as well as the project and all the transparency that it really deserves, as it is a serious investment that folks need to analyze and conduct that due diligence before they make their final decision. We see Chris Dugan also here. Good evening, SK Crypto K. I know he's working on a video for ARK as well, and has been working with us and Brad going over the white paper and every detail, because he's extremely well detailed in his explanations and how he breaks down the systems. So we're really looking forward to that. That's going to be fantastic, as well as working on some AMAs for next week and some YouTube videos. A lot of YouTubers have approached us in the past 48 hours, very interested in coming through. Also, another great development that we've had in the past 72 hours has been a group out of Italy that is really interested. I had a meeting with them. I think it was it was actually yesterday. That's correct. Before we came here and launched the contracts and the interface for the private sale. Fantastic group of guys. They're invested in quite a lot of fantastic projects, and they're looking at us very seriously. So they wanted to actually speak to me personally and have a private chat. And if any of you guys as well would like to do that, you're welcome to get in contact me. I'll be happy to come, and Brett as well, or anybody else on the team that we would require, even our Solidity dev, Mr. Green, we'd be happy to come over and talk to your community to give you that, one-to-one, time and just get to know each other a little better and dive deeper. Sometimes people want to have private conversations and not so public. So we're really open to that, whatever it takes to make sure that everybody's just really comfortable and gets the attention and gets the information that they require. So hold on a second here. Is there anybody that might have a question or comment? We'd love to hear from you.
Atlas, this is Sailing with the Resin and CFF team, and just wanted to say good evening to everyone. Hope everybody's had a great day today. Brett, I was back and forth with some folks on Telegram today, and I was quoting you really talking about the importance of taking profits along the way. And you've certainly armed us with great talking points that are correct and make a lot of sense. I was hoping you could talk through. I heard a good bit of chatter today about needing to buy the NFT, and I talked through that a bit. But Brett or whoever would like, I'd love a few more conversations about the not really having not needing to buy, that you can make this successful without buying the NFT and having that expense up front. And So I'd hope you could talk through that a little bit if you have time.
Yeah, absolutely. The NFT, the legacy NFT, let me be specific about that, is not a requirement at all, nor is bond staking. Those are for people that want to take advantage of the referral reward system. It will obviously accelerate your ROI potential in the ARK Vault if you do hold the NFT, as it will increase your compound withdrawal ratio, which allows you to compound more often. And so that grows your principal balance, which is basically like a deposit balance, but it's a little bit different, without having to withdraw as often. And that will maintain your 2% daily for a longer period of time. So that accelerates your ROI. So by making that investment, and that really contributes to the entire ecosystem, a portion of that goes into the treasury, which allows for external investments. And also it can be used to support liquidity if necessary, as a reserve in the treasury. But then also we have a rewards pool specific to the legacy NFTs, and a portion of the buy sell of the ARK token will flow into that rewards pool. So it's a replenished pool. So as the platform grows and the transaction volume grows, that rewards pool grows. And so those legacy NFT holders benefit from that. So one of the things that we really want to design into this is that there's no idle money. So in other daily ROI apps, they have usually a secondary token or some other way to qualify for referral rewards. Some of them now are allowing you to buy their native token. Then those are, locked up and you don't get a return on those. It's basically just a utility to allow you to get the referral rewards. So what we wanted to do was bring in that additional use case to the rewards qualification to get your referral rewards. And then in addition to that, you're also getting an ROI by putting that or depositing that money into either a legacy NFT or the bond staking pool. So it's an interesting twist. I think, the upfront expense is a little higher. So, we understand that, but we think because we have a different value proposition in providing both the utility of the legacy NFT and then also the referral rewards, I think that value is very well justified. So that's kind of, and if you don't play with the legacy NFT and you make an investment without it, it's not gonna affect you. You just have a little different. You have a little different compound withdrawal strategy than people that have the legacy NFT. It won't change the net amount of tokens or anything like that. I saw some questions going around about that maybe the legacy NFT would give them, a higher daily ROI or something like that. Will allow you to maintain the 2% longer if you follow the strategy of compounding a little bit more often, but it won't give you some kind of leg up in terms of getting paid out more or having a net difference in tokens at the when you reach the max payout number. So I hope that makes sense. Does that answer the question?
It does. And so if I have a person that, they say, hey, I have $1,000 and that's what I can do. And I don't feel comfortable splitting it between NFTs and I just wanted to go in the vault. My discussion with that was you can still be absolutely successful in ARK doing just the vault because you have the ability to pull rewards without being penalized. So you're getting paid back, with a normal compound ratio, and it sounded like a good way to go at it. And I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page with that.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And as they're, so let's say they make that investment, they'll get, very quickly start getting multiples on that and encouraged to withdraw. And then with those profits, they could, reinvest that back into the foundation, the bond staking pool, and grow it even more, and maybe use that as like a little savings account until they got to the point where they could afford the first level legacy NFT.
That's a great idea. Thank you. Well, I hope everybody has a great night. I appreciate you talking with me about it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Sale.
Hey, hi.
Go right ahead, sir.
Hey, if Satan is done, I'd like to see if I could ask a question, please.
Go right ahead.
All right, I had a question about the all the pre-sale NFTs. Like, is it limited to 5 max per wallet, or after we buy the 4 in the public, are we able to buy as many as we want off of the marketplace? That was it.
Right. You want to go ahead and take that?
Yeah, can you be more specific, Resin? Was that regarding the pre-sale NFT or was that the legacy NFT?
These are for the pre-sale. So we're allowed 1 private and then up to 4 in the public, right? So
Correct.
is it just those 5 that are max we can use per wallet, or after we buy those 4, can we still go to the marketplace and buy additional ones off of there and use them whenever you guys launch?
So those 5 are the max that you can carry per wallet. And then obviously you could have multiple wallets, to have, multiple NFTs in those other wallets.
Gotcha. Understood. Thank you.
Hey guys, I just wanted to jump in and say, I think what you guys are doing absolutely amazing, and I've been following you guys since day one. I attended one of your first AMAs, and I've been listening in the last few nights as well. I just want to introduce myself. Yo, Crypto Rock, and I have an amazing community, and I'd love to invite you guys one night or one day to come over and talk to everyone over there. I think it would be really awesome. I like what you guys are doing, and I think it's a solid project, and I'd love to get to meet you guys and talk to you guys and see if you want to come over and hang out in the community and tell more people about your project.
Absolutely. Thank you for the invitation. Yeah, we'd love to go ahead and check you out. If you can send me a DM, I'd love to be in contact with you and see how we can link up and meet your community and learn more about what you guys are up to. Thank you for the interest in us.
Awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. May I ask you how you heard about ARK?
So I am. I don't remember exactly how I don't know. I'm a YouTuber as well, so I'm always like people are always messaging me, and I'm always talking to a lot of developers, and I think it was from Oxaria. Must have heard it maybe passed it on to me from maybe the Moon Arch dev, possibly.
Fantastic. Yeah, he's brilliant, man. I love what he's done with Moonarch. That is a fantastic product that he's put out there, and great for marketing for projects, and really well organized and put together. So I have a lot of respect for him, and reached out to him a couple of days ago because we've done business with him before, and always very professional and delivering on time, great communication and responses. So I know he's got a fantastic community over there, and they opened up not so long ago the whole ROI DApp tab. And as we shifted from our phase 1 now to our flagship, we definitely thought that we had to make sure to get involved with him, and it's been working out quite well. Some fantastic folks have come over from their community. They've got a good Telegram group over there as well. So glad to hear that's where you heard about us. Let's get this crypto. Fantastic, man. Is there anybody else that would like to ask a question or maybe has a comment about the project? We'd love to hear from you guys.
I have a comment directed towards you. You got reread my name now. You called me Carl earlier.
Oh, okay. My apologies. Hey, little brother. How are you, brother?
Good. I had an NFT pitch for my wallet, so I went on a little scam rage and started trying to attack the scammers. You know.
Hopefully. Yes, he changed the avatar. And yeah, we've got a hello. My mute button was on, guys. Sorry about that. Little brother, you there?
Yeah, I thought it was me. I just logged back in. I got right back in right when you said my mute button was on.
I answered. I was saying that sorry about getting your name wrong. Through all the things moving and you switch your avatar. Me and you, we got a joke going back a couple of months with the Sasquatch bumper sticker. But
Yep.
I was asking, you didn't hear me because you were muted. I was muted, sorry. And did you get into the form for the private?
Yeah, I'm in. I'm doing my due diligence right now. It's a lot of due diligence on this one, I'll tell you. I'm probably going to have a bunch of questions for you tomorrow. I've already got some, and they're all mostly little ones, and I actually keep crossing them off the more I read. So, by the time I'm done, I might only have 2 or 3, or I might have 30.
Fantastic, man. We look forward to it. Hope you come through and we answer everything as you require, brother. Thank you for being here.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Anybody else that might have a question or a comment? Go right ahead.
When can we start claiming the NFT for the actual token?
That'll be on December 2nd when we launch the whole D-app and project. So
Got it. Yeah.
The way it's going to happen, just to expand a little bit on that for you, Carbon, when the contract goes live, you're going to have the opportunity to claim your tokens. However, we do want to be very clear to everyone that you're not going to be able to get the tokens, the ARK tokens, in your wallet. They're going to be claimed and deposited for you in the ROI DApp. So that's the way we're doing it, and primarily it's to make sure that there's not a huge supply or anybody that got in and is going to be able to dump on the rest of the investors in the community, and that goes to team tokens, advisor tokens, anyone in the private or the pre-sale. So that's just going to give us a lot more comfort. We're going to sleep good at night, understand that we're here for the benefits of the passive income, for the long-term investment, not really just to come and trade the token. Obviously, after launch, hey, people can do what they want. They can, make any strategy and purchase as much as they wish. We do have a 4,000 ARK token limit per wallet. That's also done, for stability and to make sure that, everybody's playing fair. We don't want anyone to exploit the system and take advantage of the rest of us. So a lot of thought, a lot of details been put to why and how. So I hope that answers. Is there anything more you want to ask?
Yeah. So on that day when I hit claim, will that be in the vault? Is that how that works?
Will that be what?
Will that be in the vault?
Yes,
when
correct.
Be in that. That's in the actual vault where you start earning.
Correct.
Got it.
Absolutely. And before that, you're going to have the chance to also purchase the bond LP with BUSD, and you're going to be able to, get your first level or 5 levels, or purchase one of the NFTs as well. So as soon as your launch, you're already set. It's in the NFTs in your wallet, or the levels are, activated for you to go ahead and be able to get your direct deposits and compounds from the folks that are in your downline. So that's going to be coming in, before launch as well.
Yeah. What the time is launch?
December 2nd.
Yeah. Have you got any actual time?
No, we have not set that yet. We're a bit far away.
Yeah.
But we'll make sure to do it. And we have investors from Europe and Asia, as well as the United States, but I think primarily Europe and the United States. So at a time where that it's convenient for everybody. We don't want to be too late in Europe and we're too late, or early in the United States. So we'll find something that was comfortable. We did 5 p.m. UTC, which is, if you think of London time, for the the private yesterday, and that was 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I think that was a pretty good time for most folks.
Okay. I live in Australia, so there will be 1 a.m. my time. All good though.
Okay. We got a couple of great guys here from Australia. Mark too. I think he was here. I'm scrolling, and he's a fantastic fellow, man. Been around, great investor, diamond hander to the end. He is fantastic. Yeah, man, glad to have you here, and great questions. Is there anything else you might want to ask?
That's all for now. I'll read more on the white paper, but thanks very much for answering.
Great.
Thank you.
Can I ask you one question? If you could let us know where you heard about ARK.
From Blockchain Ben's channel.
Fantastic. We've had a lot of folks come through from over there, and we're talking about maybe doing an AMA over there. I think it's. I'm not going to say the date. I don't want to raise expectations. Let's wait for things to get more concrete. But yeah, we've got a tentative idea for next week. So I'm sure you'll hear about it.
Awesome. Look forward to it. Thank you
for the questions, man. Appreciate it.
How's it going tonight, Atlas?
What was that, Chris?
I said, how's it going tonight?
Fantastic. Busy day. Fantastic day getting everyone situated with their teams and loading everybody up here into the private sale. So with that, we're seeing a lot of work here in our other chats with the developers. Fantastic work that they're doing with the rest of the system. They're also fine tuning some of the image that are being shown for the NFT. You can see they're working on that right now. So great to see the progress. Great to see everybody focused.
Right.
Crypto doesn't sleep.
Yeah. Had a couple of questions come up today. One, say if somebody buys a legacy NFT, the silver one, that'll get them 3 levels of downlines, just like the bonds, right? The $1,000 worth of the bonds.
Correct.
But and if they wanted to get, if they needed, like 4 levels of downlines, would they just, with that NFT, just buy that additional bond? Or how would that work?
That's a great question, and I'm going to bring Brett to come forth and answer that as he went, really deep into the engineering of that part. I don't want to make a mistake and say something out of turn. Brett, could you?
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm good today.
Hey, Chris, you there?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm doing well today. Thank you.
Oh, good. No, they're not additive like that. So if you're holding a silver, you can't add bond on top of it. So they're two completely different paths to getting those levels. So you would have to go to the gold level if you wanted to include the level 4, 5, 6 using the legacy NFTs.
Okay.
So they're kind of two completely separate investment paths. The legacy
but you
NFT,
could have both as well, though, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
You could hold both. Yeah, there's no restriction as to making an investment in the foundation and then also making an investment in the legacy NFT. Correct.
Okay.
It just wouldn't. They're just not additive together.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. And the NFTs, like the private sale and the pre-sale NFTs, once they're bought, they are transferable to another wallet, but they stay with the same referrer.
Correct. Yeah, correct? The referrer address is locked in the NFT metadata, so okay. It won't get changed. We had that question come up from a couple other groups as well. So yeah, appreciate you asking that.
Okay. And the third question I had was, just concerns about staying positive, since, compounding and airdrops are awash with it. But you could claim basically, or do what we call a manual deposit, claim out and then deposit it again to increase your NDV, right?
Correct. Yep. Fresh deposits up to a net of 4,000 ARK in those type of deposits can positively affect the NDV. And yeah, we had a nice discussion. I'm not sure if you were in SK's lounge today, but there was a lot of questions around that. And SK is working on a killer video about strategy, and it's going to be inclusive with all of those questions.
Okay,
so
good.
yeah, look
Yeah,
forward to
nobody-
that. He's breaking it down. Yeah, he and I have gone back and forth a little bit, and he's got, I'm sure, a list of other things to go through. But yeah, he's getting deep. So yeah, you'll see that from him. I'm hoping within the next week or so. I don't want to answer for him, but I know he's trying to get that out ASAP. And yeah, he'll talk about the NDV strategy, holding the NFT versus not holding the NFT, making fresh deposits, all those kind of things. So yeah, it should be great. There's no one better to deliver that than
That's
him.
what I was just fixing to say. There's nobody that does it better than SK. One of the things, kind of going towards that, and this is something that y'all may have already planned for the UI, but it might be nice to have, a button on there that would automatically claim and deposit for people that wanted to do that instead of, claiming out and then having to go to manually deposit. Just have a button that they could hit that would automatically claim it and deposit it for them.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'll we don't have that feature designed in now. I know that as kind of a claim deposit feature. But yeah, let's talk about that. That's a good suggestion. Our plan is that we'll have the auto allocation system whereby you can select the CWR target that you want to meet, the compound withdrawal schedule, to maintain your CWR level. And the auto allocation will do the withdrawing and compounding for you on the 24-hour schedule. So that's something that's in the works right now. And if you hold the legacy NFT, obviously you would have more choices for what those CWR levels would be available. Yep. But that's another interesting twist on top of that. I'm not sure if we'd be able to incorporate that, but I can certainly talk to the devs about it.
Okay. I sent you a DM as well.
Oh, cool. Okay, thanks.
That's all I got.
That's all I got. Thank you. Good to see you here, buddy. You're still out in the hunt? Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're still out at deer camp.
Fantastic. You had a good day?
Not so much. Went out this morning, didn't see anything. First time in about 11 days that I haven't seen anything.
Wow. Does that work with like a tagging system?
It's a little different in Georgia, but basically, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. We're allowed a lot of deer here.
Fantastic. Great to have you here, man. Thank you for the questions. Yeah, it's a really good one. Looking at if you're having the NFT, if you would, be able to get bonded for the 4th or 5th level until you upgrade. Look, that's something to really look into. I mean, there's some amazing things that our coder can really put together. So,
the question came up. They were wanting to, if they got that, and then they, gradually wanted to work up to where they got the next level of NFT. They were kind of wanting to know if they could do it that way. So,
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. If I leave money on the table, if there's a great way to do it. So, I totally get it. I think it's a great thing to think about, and yeah, we'll get into it. Go ahead, Silver. You wanted to say something?
Sorry, I got it.
Hi, man. Is there anybody else that would like to ask us a question or make a comment? You can unmute yourself and come and talk with us. Love to hear from you guys. Welcome, Aphrodite. Hope you're doing over there well over there in Australia. We just spoke a few minutes ago with an investor from your fantastic continent. Hope you're doing well. All right, for somebody else that wants to ask a question, we have an announcement, and it's really to appease and just let the investors and the people very interested in ARK know that we're listening and we're paying attention to your requests. There's been quite a large response and interest to get into the private sale, and obviously we're taking care, in tranches of the folks, starting with our phase one folks, and today we started getting to some of the fantastic teams that we've been talking to for some time, and then starting to develop relationships also with new teams that we've haven't met before. So with the interest in getting to the private, we've created a waiting list. Okay, according to the next couple of days, if we go ahead and fill pretty fast, or maybe there's going to be some demand that's still available and some tokens in the next coming days. We're keeping that whitelist open. We're adding folks to it. A lot of people still have to get back to, but as I'm going through each one of them, I'm adding them to our Excel sheet and making sure that we have all their information so we can contact them. And with that, in mind, we want to do a giveaway to let some of those folks have an opportunity. What we're going to do is, if those folks update their avatar and put the ARK logo, we are going to do a random selection of a few of them. And what I've got here, allocated is our 10 private sale spots for those folks. And we're going to do it on Tuesday. We're going to be here. We're going to randomly select them, and they'll qualify to get into the private. As a lot of folks are really looking forward to that. And I believe that we have prepared here an announcement with a picture. Let me see here 1 second. S23, can you go?
It's already posted in the main.
Okay. All right. You went ahead and did it. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you for that, sir. So the information is there explaining what we were just telling you about here. So the folks that are not live with us here tonight are going to be able to see that post later. And all I got to do is go ahead and do that, and send me a DM. Obviously, put your logo on first, so I know that I'm going to add you to that fantastic list, that selection. And you could very well be someone that through doing that is going to be able to get into the private. So, I hope those that really want that list upgrade, and you're able to come and join us in the private round. It's quite exciting. Is there anybody that might have a question about that contest that we're doing, or anything else regarding the project? Go right ahead.
I actually had another one.
Go ahead.
The pre-sale NFTs, when they're having that, will they need a referral link to buy them, or will they be able to do it when they deposit them in?
I'm not sure I understand the question, Chris. Could you explain it maybe a little bit differently?
Are the pre-sale NFTs going to be any different, because they're public? So
okay, the public round you're referring to, not the private. Okay,
right.
Those you don't have to put any referral. If you don't put a referral, you're going to go to the Guardian wallet, which but folks call the dev wallet. If you do fill it in with a referral, then it's obviously you're going to be tied into that wallet. Good question.
All right, so there'll be, when you go to buy the pre-sale, there'll actually be a space for the referral.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, that's mandatory.
Well,
team builder.
Usually on those pre-sales, they go pretty quick. So people are that extra step is going to slow the process down a little bit. So that's what they wanted to know, if that was going to be something that they would have to do then, or once they got the thing in the wallet and it was going to be deposited, they could add the referral after.
Yeah, everyone should really come prepared and talk to their teams and make sure they get the correct wallet. We did have somebody today that actually made a mistake, and they put a referral wallet of somebody else, not somebody that was part of, I guess, they were supposed to be. They're all part of a team, right? But they made a mistake, and they asked us if we could go ahead and change that. And we're looking into that right now with our coder to see if it can be altered or not. So we're going to get back to them. So I do, want to make sure to tell everybody, please be careful and make sure that when you add that referral wallet address, it is correct. At this point, we're not certain that we could change it.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Good question. Is there anybody else that would like to step up and talk to us here and ask a question? Or if you're not able to speak, you're
Hello.
Hello. He speaks.
Hello.
He comes.
Hi.
It's great, buddy.
I'm
How are you, man?
alive. I'm doing good. Doing good. Is the microphone okay?
It's great. Really
okay.
clear.
Cool. I've also received some questions, and I was hoping you can answer a little bit more about the roadmap. I know that besides the DApp itself, there's some treasury aspects that come into to play. I don't know if that's on the bond side or the NFT legacy NFT side, but what's kind of the roadmap in the future, as vague as you can be, or as detailed alpha you can give us. What are you going to do to bring revenue streams back into ARK and protect the liquidity? I know you mentioned the hedge fund partnership of some kind, but then even beyond that, are there plans?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to identify, opportunities in the real world that are obviously going to have to be very low risk. That's absolutely important, as these are all your funds and ours. So we want to make sure that, as in the real world, everything's done correctly. Contracts, you don't have the fallback of the smart contracts. So we've identified some key areas. Really important to us is not to do anything that has leverage. Okay, we don't want to take, again, anything that has risk or trading bots. If it's an arbitrage bond deal between two banking institutions that are doing like a $2 billion raise, and we're coming to a crowdfunding sort of scenario, but these are crowdfunding that the regular Joes and small guys don't really get a chance to participate in. So we have access to that, and we're going to be very transparent with the community on that. We're also seeing there's great opportunities in the mining sector for crypto. There's quite a lot of distressed assets, GPUs, but I've worked in the renewable energy sector for about over a decade, primarily solar projects, and I'm working on another project that's a long-term thing. I've worked with deforestation as well. And, combining all that together, it's something that, we can't really talk about a lot, but one of the components to that would be looking at, really buying stuff on pennies on the dollar, but connecting it to renewable energy sources. Talking about, wind, talking about solar, hydropower, as, there's quite a lot of stigma to, when Elon Musk said, Bitcoin is dirty. So that's another opportunity that's on the table. There's some fantastic ones in Canada, in Alberta, where we know a group out of there that's setting up about 5 megawatts of generation of power directly at the source of gas wells. When they're out there, and they have certain guidelines by the government that when you're, for example, doing fracking, there's only so much you can do because you have a lot of gas that escapes, and that's CO2 that's not really good for the environment. But if you're able to sell that off or move it somewhere, which moving it is quite expensive through the gas pipelines, what these guys are doing is pretty interesting. They're setting up, generators there. They're plugging into the right into the source of the gas. And through that, they're able to create at the source with a turbine, a great amount of energy to do crypto mining. So I know it's not the hot button, kind of investment at this point as we have a depressed market, but that's always where the opportunity is. When you can go and buy off these guys some, fairly, expensive equipment at a good price, and you're able to tap into a source. We're talking here at a cost of almost 1 cent per kilowatt, which is, pretty much free because it is dirt trash. And then when you combine those things, the gas company that's doing the exploration, they're needing to offload it. So they give it to you free. So that 1 cent is the cost of operation. So that's, one of the great things that we're looking at. And then tying that into moving our ecosystem. And maybe in the future, I don't want to say too much out there. I don't like to go too far, but eventually maybe even working on a layer 1 solution tying into ARK that could really take advantage of working off of that renewable source. So with that, there's also some commodity trades that could be had, taking advantage of the hedge funds, and anything that we do, our DAO, our community here is going to be able to take a vote and analyze, do all the due diligence before we move forward. So I hope that answers a little bit. I don't want to go too much further, but that's a pretty, 30,000 feet up in the air kind of view. I hope that helps.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I appreciate that. And you guys are doing a fantastic job, Brett. I know that you've been answering a lot of questions, and even though you're traveling this weekend, but yeah, Atlas, I think you guys have a really good product. I think as people read the white paper, they're becoming every bit as bullish as I am about the project. So, as long as we're spreading the word, this thing's going to be fantastic. I just can't wait for the public pre-sale rounds too, when all the YouTubers are talking about this and Medium articles are being written. It's going to be pretty crazy. So yeah, good job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. And to add to that, I focused on the real world, but we also want to invest into some projects that are already doing pretty well and have reputable, developers and fantastic communities, and link up to them. There's some fantastic opportunities I'm sure you know about, where you're not facing impermanent loss, and we want to link in, and we want to diversify a bit. Again, the community here is going to be able to vote on that, and we've got 2 projects that we're seriously taking into account. Bridge DeFi's one of them that we love what those guys are doing. We think it's really innovative and brilliant what they've got coming. So that's something, again, we're going to put forward to our investors here through the DAO and see how that works out. So not only in the real world, but we want to diversify. And if there's other projects, maybe somebody here is going to develop something really interesting in the next coming months, and we have a relationship with them, why not go ahead and have a bit of a Kickstarter, invest into those guys, and bring that back to the community. So that's the crypto part. And then also our liquidity controller, we believe that once it's up and running and proven, we would be able to go out and market that to other either already established projects or folks that haven't really taken off yet, but they're planning on it. Because to create something like that will cost quite a substantial amount of money, as well as the resources of your time. And when you're trying to get up and running, if you have a plug and play system that you can use, we believe that that's an offering that could appeal to other projects and developers. We also have a cross-chain ambition that we're going to be building here to go and bring some other investors that perhaps don't really do a lot of investment in trading here, maybe in Ethereum or Polygon, AVAX, cross our contracts over there and bring them all here to our main, home-based chain. And that would also be another product that we want to, package in. So you have, 2, DeFi, plug and play options. We got an amazing team of coders that are in-house full-time. So we'll be able to sit down with these projects and see how we can help them, since we have the resource and we've already developed the tech. And that's another aspiration that we have in that roadmap. Thank you for letting me add to that, Mr. SK.
Yeah, you're welcome.
for all your support, man. You've been an absolute blessing from day one. Here advising me, explaining the round robin, because I was not an investor into DRIP and ROI DApps before. So you really mentored and helped us a lot, opened a lot of doors, and for that we'll always be grateful. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for the kind words. Carry on.
Who's next that would like to ask a question? We'd love to hear from you guys. See some new folks in here. Thanks for coming by and spending some time with us. Cult leader in the house, man. It's been a while since we've chatted. I was talking to Donatello today and asked him about you. Hope you're doing well.
So far, so good, man. Another day in DeFi paradise.
Here, man. You been busy?
Same as always. I'm looking forward. I don't think I'm grasping the NFT aspect of this so far. I've been reading the white paper. Perhaps you can enlighten me on it, or give me a for dummies version of how the NFT aspect will work.
Sure. Is there anything in particular that confuses you, or it just doesn't tie in, or is it just
explain it to me as far as like how it compares to B-Reap, if you can.
Okay, let me get Brett in here to give you his take on it.
Hey, this is my signal okay? I'm in a bad spot. Can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
You're good.
Okay, and what was the question? What was the legacy NFT compared to what?
B-Reap, like Drip's B-Reap.
Oh, okay. So the main difference, let's give you the high level, that it's a utility in the ARK Vault, and then it can accelerate your return on investment in the ARK Vault. There's several different aspects of that. Might be too much to go into just on this voice chat, but we really break it down in the white paper pretty well as to what the benefits or the utilities are of the legacy NFT in relation to how your ARK Vault is enhanced. And then secondarily, it's also we also have a rewards pool that's paid out that gets fed by a couple different mechanisms. One is 1.5% of all the buys and sells of ARK trickle into the rewards pool for the legacy NFT holders. And then also the external investments that Atlas talked about will have a revenue stream that taps back into that legacy NFT rewards pool. So it's really two components. One's the utility of the legacy NFT and how it affects your ARK Vault, and then also the rewards pool and the payout from that. And it's paid out in BUSD, those rewards.
Okay, I gotcha. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thanks, Brett. Appreciate that. And thank you for the question, Cult Leader. Is there anybody else that might have a question? Hey, welcome, Crypto Toe. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well, my friend. We have a question from Phil Decrypt, and he's asking about, for us to kind of elaborate a bit on transparency, and in particular that there's been some projects churning for the worse lately. He's talking about yield, node sand, and such. I'm actually, Phil, I just answered you on the chat as well. Yield nodes, yeah, okay. I don't know those projects, unfortunately, Phil. But if you could elaborate, you can go ahead and type it. What's happened, and maybe I understand what you're trying to get us to expand on and clarify for you.
There is also a question by Joseph Smith.
What was that? S23?
There is also a question by Joseph Smith.
Okay, let me scroll up. As we'll see if Phil Decrypt elaborates a bit, because I just don't know what happened there. Okay, we have to be listed for public pre-sales. Joseph, you do not. It is a public pre-sale. We might set up some promotions or contests to make sure that some folks are able to. It'll be a very small amount, of course, if they're able to come in and have a whitelisted opportunity into the public rounds. So no, you do not have to. It's absolutely public. But again, we might run something as the time comes, and if we see an opportunity, maybe want to get some traction of a contest, it could be a good idea to give some folks a guaranteed spot. Thank you for the question. Okay, they had a lot of investors, audits showing 300 mil, saying they had like 130% in collateral, but then 1 or 2 months they had only 10%. So a lot of people lost money. Well, that sounds extremely unfortunate, Phil. And obviously there's in this space a lot of folks that are unscrupulous and really don't have a backbone, and they lie and they play games. Look, I think that the first thing is we rely on the smart contracts and their functions and what they're doing, how the pools are set up, and really limiting the capability for the coder or myself or anybody here on the team to play with funds in a nefarious way that are project funds. So that's something I think it's pretty understandable. As far as us being transparent, I believe that's who we are. I've been here for a while, and people have worked with me, and those that have, they I think hold me in high regards as far as to my transparency, my work ethic, being here, and making sure that I spend the time with the investors and that what we're doing here is for their best interest. There's always things that are out of our control and price action, and these systems are living. They're constantly fluctuating. We're doing everything we're building to make sure that we take as much volatility out of price, but it's nothing's guaranteed. Now, as far as our intentions and the way we operate, I think our background, our track record speaks for itself. If you want more information, you're more welcome to contact me. And we're also going to be doing some profiles on our website about the team, who's involved, who's been here, who's really having access to making decisions. And when it comes to outside investments, that might raise some fear. We are going to make sure that everything is completely with reputable sources, with contracts, as I mentioned before, and that the DAO is going to have the opportunity and also the responsibility of taking decisions with us as a whole group, not just one person or dictator making all of the moves, and that everything that's done is completely transparent and accountable. And somebody mentioned the other day even having sort of a dashboard where we could track those investments and see how that's going. Some information too, where folks could go to these websites or understand who we're signing contracts with or who we're investing with. So it's going to be very transparent. I think it's the only way, especially when you're having so many folks that are coming and investing into the project. And yeah, I'm sorry to hear what's happened. I hope you didn't get hurt, but here's a response. Okay, he says, by the way, I read the white paper a couple of times and it seems really well thought out. Thank you. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to go ahead and write them here. I hope that I was able to clarify a bit for you about the transparency. But unfortunately, yeah, there's always people that are going to lie and they're going to cheat and they're going to steal. And, we have to be careful. We have to do our due diligence. Okay, Crypto Toe. He's asking about brisket marketing. Steve's actually working over at Bitmart. He's a listing agent and partner with them. And he's not active here. He's still investing, and he's still a friend of the whole ARK family and someone that we hold in very high regard. But he's really taken advantage of that fantastic opportunity there. The marketing here is very different than your traditional ads and all the little kind of things that a lot of the BSC space is about. And our focus is really on creating material, giving the folks tools to become really good at writing Medium articles, creating videos they can send to their friends and family. So we're doing a very community-based outreach effort. We're calling that our marketing, as we don't really see that traditional marketing efforts are having any positive effect. So if there's that disconnect and then him going into that field that he loves and he has a lot of experience, that's really where I think he can excel best, and the relationship is quite fantastic. And yeah, that's pretty much it there. I hope that answers. Okay, thank you for your great answer from Phil. Just the fact that you're here and people can just speak is awesome. Yeah, man, and we love to speak. We love to be here with you guys, especially understanding that there's folks that are not good at explaining these things or don't have all the answers, or they're not salespeople, or they're not folks that have the time or the personality sometimes to handhold and to walk people through things. I mean, I could tell you for me, I've taught friends how to use MetaMask, and they call me 5 times a day, concerned if they're going to send to the wrong address, and hey, I don't see the transactions, the funds didn't arrive. There's a special, I think, skill and empathy that has to come when you're kind of doing customer service and you're dealing with new folks. And I think that's where, guys like Fortunate, which by the way is not here tonight, he's with family. They're really amazing. They've proven themselves to just be able to guide folks, those new folks that come in here. So look, we understand that that's extremely important. We have to be here to receive those new investors, whether they're experts and they're going to come ask very precise technical questions, which Brett's right now educating the rest of us as we hear him answer, as we're facing questions of things that according to strategies of certain investors are really bringing to light, hey, what about this possibility, which is fantastic, because we are still in the process of finalizing the whole system. And if there's any upgrade, anything that we can add to it, whether it be through a question that you guys come with, or even just an idea of how to improve things, we are still in that position. So this is very valuable, I think, conversation and in dialogue, and going through that process is really going to help the project. So we have to be here. We have to make sure to be very professional and forthcoming, transparent, and with a great attitude, that when folks come, they feel comfortable and they feel at home, that this is a safe place, a good place to be around fantastic, educated, hardworking folks, and really fantastic investors. Thank you for your question. Okay, another Joseph Smith. Okay, Joseph, well, glad to have you want to come into the project. Again, any question, go ahead and put it in the chat. We've got the admins and moderators always here, and we're here on the VC every evening as well. So look forward to learning more about you and investing together, man. Thank you. Okay, we have another question that's coming in. If anybody wants to chime in or unmute their microphone and ask a question, you're more than welcome to.
Hey, Atlas, got a question for you. My dad, he never filled out his deal. He's been in on the Eternity Urn since May, and he's wanting to get on in this now that I talked to him. So I was going to see if he could get in on Private or pre-sale, either one. Just
Absolutely.
finding out.
Absolutely, man. Anyone that invested with us in phase one is, we did the form, but we don't want to leave anybody behind. So absolutely, shoot me a DM and we'll get him set up immediately.
You want me to just shoot you his wallet address? He's not real technical with all this, and he gave it to me. He's like, okay, here you go. You can send it to him. So
Absolutely.
I've got to walk him through everything.
Absolutely, man.
The app will help him, I think, a lot.
Absolutely. You're a friend of the project, and I'm glad that you brought your father in. And look, we want to do right by him and make sure that he's taken care of and considered, and give it the opportunity, because you guys have been fantastic with us, so patient, and man, we've gotten to spend time and grow together and establish that bond. I never met him, but thank him for his vote of confidence and wanting to continue to grow with us.
I'll let him know. Yeah, I'll shoot that over to you, Atlas.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, we got him. We got it.
All right. Bye.
Okay, I think okay. Just going here, guys, reading some of the messages, see if we can answer some. Okay, Grogu's got his logo changed. Let me see on my phone, because on my laptop, it's not showing his logo. It's still showing green. Grogu, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. I was right here having dinner at the same time listening to you guys.
Cool, man. You're talking about changing the logo to ARK so you can get into the contest?
That's what I heard. That's when I got in. I was like, oh, I guess I can do that part, at least try to get in.
Yeah. If you scroll up, you can download the ARK logo and add it to your avatar, your profile, and DM me, please, after you do that, so I can see you qualified. You've done the task for the contest, and I'll be happy to go ahead and add you to that list. Thank you, S23, for furnishing that for us.
I appreciate it. I'll go ahead and do that, and I guess I'll listen on more into these AMAs, and I just been reading the white paper and really interested in this.
Fantastic. How did you hear about us, Grogu?
I've already heard to a couple of people, but there's a few people in here that I'm. I guess we've formed like a crypto bond through other people.
Okay.
One of them already left. Yeah, it was Lukey. Lukey was on right now, and I think also DigiGero.
Oh, nice. Fantastic. Man, great to have you here. I'm glad they brought you in. And, any questions about the white paper or how everything works, as you can see, we're here to answer that. We're eager to do that, to make sure that you understand before you make a decision, all the aspects of the investment, how to manage it, and make sure that you're handling correctly, so it goes in your favor. And when you do these things, you got to understand there's certain actions that can bring down your ROI and all that. So just feel free, man. If not today, enjoy your dinner. We're going to be here tomorrow night, and you can always also write in our chat. We'll be happy to assist you.
All
And
right,
also,
cool beans.
yeah, Cult Leader, he said that make sure your profile pic is public. Maybe that's why it's not showing. It shows a green G. I don't know if you can see that in your interface in the app, but there's no picture. It just says G. It's a green G and Grogu. So maybe you haven't updated it yet, but that's just a suggestion from him.
I'll probably have to get out of Telegram and come back in. I don't know. I already deleted the old one.
Hey, take your time, man. You got till Tuesday, and it's random. It's not first come first serve. So we're probably going to spin the wheels or something fun like that here live on the podcast, and choose those 10 folks that they're going to get in, and there'll even be time after that, as we're going to be here all week, making sure that we get everything filled.
Okay. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Enjoy your dinner. Thank you for being here, bud. Okay.
Can we ask questions or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what we're here.
Okay, because I just get a Excel where we edit our wallet for a whitelist, I think, for the team. But I want to ask you only, what's the minimum deposit and the max deposit?
The minimum deposit is 200, and for the private sale, what we're doing right now till Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, it's $250 BUSD, and the max is 1,000 BUSD.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
You're very welcome. May I ask you, Crypto Work, how you heard about us?
From my team, DeFi. I think you will know them, right? DeFi Ascensions.
Okay, fantastic. Great team, man. Happy to have you here.
Yeah, thanks.
Did you take a look at the white paper yet?
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. So I cannot find the max or minimum entry amount. So that's my only question, actually.
Okay. If you have any other questions, feel free to come back in or come back tomorrow, or just ask in a chat anytime. Thank
Cool.
you.
Thanks. Is there also a minimum investment in the public, or
is there a minimum?
Yeah, for the public price, because some friends of mine asked this.
Well, look, it's going to be different. Great question. It's going to be a fixed price per NFT. The reason, just so you kind of understand, the logic behind everything here, we've let investors, who got into the project some time ago, before we were, ready to launch, and what we wanted them to do is to get in on a forum and lock their position into the private sale. However, we didn't know really how long it was going to take, so we left it open, because maybe you say, I'm going to put 500, and then you had less, or maybe you got more money and you're FOMOing in and you're feeling really comfortable, you're loving the project, what you're seeing here, the white paper, everything that the team is doing, you want to put more. So we wanted to leave it open. So we can't see until we really calculate after we close the private sale how many tokens are really left. From there, we're going to be able to decide what's going to be the price, and there will be an increase between public sale 1, public sale 2, and the 3, right? Because we're launching on December 2nd.
Yeah.
And for those 3 public rounds, we're going to have a price. Let's say it's example, this is not written in stone, but just to give you a real example, let's say it's $300 per NFT. You're going to be able to purchase up to 4 in one wallet. Maybe it's a little bit less, maybe it's a little bit more, but you kind of get an idea of where we're going. So that's going to be fixed price up into the public. There won't be variable rate. So I hope that gives you a little bit more clarity.
Yeah, thanks for answering the question. Thanks.
Great question. Appreciate it. All right. Let's see if we have anything else written here. If anybody wants to step up, ask a question, go right ahead. All right. No, we're not having anything here in the chat. Let me see here. Okay, you came in live and asked that. Give me a second, guys. I'm getting a message here from our dev team.
Is there a Twitter page set up yet?
Go right ahead.
Is there a Twitter page set up yet? Oh,
there is a link. We've locked the name down. We haven't added really any content to it. I just made sure to go ahead and lock that in, as well as Instagram. Yeah, we have a link tree that has a little bit of content. When we release the website, we're gonna have the links there. And before we do that, we want to kind of dress to impress, and we have a social media person that's working here full time, and they're going to be sprucing that up shortly. They were just working on the Discord server the past week, so yeah, we'll have that ready to go soon. Do you have another question?
no, that was it. Sorry for interrupting your message.
No, you're fine. May I ask where you heard about ARK?
This is little brother again. I've been
Man,
here.
I don't recognize your voice. You got to scroll through.
I'm kind of tired today too, so kind of talking nonchalantly. I'm usually a lot louder and more. I talk faster usually. Now I'm talking a little slower because I'm sleepy.
Sorry, man. Yeah, I got to scroll through to sometimes see who's talking, and I didn't recognize you at all. Okay. Sorry, there's a message coming through. And for the folks that are writing to me right now, if you bear with me when I get out of here, I'm going to go ahead and answer every single one of you. You're at the top of the list at the moment, but I do want to keep my focus here with full intention and focus. So is there anybody else that might have a question or a comment? Maybe it's your first time, or maybe you've been here and haven't had a chance to bring your question to the table. Okay. All right. So guys, I think if there's no more questions for this evening, we're going to go ahead and close down the chat and the recording. We'll probably stay for like another minute or two in case somebody wants to ask a question after we finish the recording. But before we do that, is there anybody that might have a question or a comment before we close? All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here this evening at the podcast number 5 at ARK. I think for the folks that participated, asked questions, wrote here in a chat, and also participated, we are looking, quite wonderful as far as the interest and the folks that are coming in and minting the private sale NFT. And we're going to be back tomorrow at the same time, and we'll have another discussion with you guys. And hopefully we'll get some more new folks and questions. I just want to make sure that everybody, is really informed and understands exactly what we're doing here. Thank you. Have a good evening.